What killed most Civil War soldiers? Was it the fierce battles that raged across the fields, the thunderous cannon fire that echoed through the valleys, or perhaps the relentless charges that saw men clash in brutal hand-to-hand combat? The answer isn't what your history teacher told you. It wasn't glorious battles, it wasn't valiant charges. The truth is far more harrowing. The real enemy was not the one they could see, but the one they couldn't. It was something far more sinister, something silent, something invisible. Disease. A relentless killer that crept through the camps, striking down soldiers without warning. Dysentery, typhoid, pneumonia, and malaria were the true harbingers of death. It stalked the battlefields and camps. In the crowded, unsanitary conditions, disease spread like wildfire. Soldiers weakened by hunger and exhaustion were easy prey. The medical knowledge of the time was limited, and treatments were often ineffective or even harmful. It claimed twice as many lives as bullets. The American Civil War, a conflict that reshaped a nation, was also a grim reminder of the power of disease. For every soldier who fell in battle, 2 more succumbed to illness, a time of great upheaval. Families torn apart, communities shattered. The war left scars not just on the land, but on the very fabric of society. The soldiers who survived carried the memories of their fallen comrades and the horrors they witnessed. A time of great loss. The fields of graves, the countless memorials, all stand as silent witnesses to the true cost of the war. The bravery of the soldiers is remembered, but so too should be the silent killer that claimed so many lives. Imagine a time before antibiotics, before antiseptics, before we understood germs. This was the reality of Civil War medicine. Doctors were often poorly trained. They didn't know how infections spread. They operated in filthy conditions. Instruments weren't sterilized. Hands weren't washed properly. A simple cut could turn deadly. A minor wound could lead to amputation. The odds were stacked against the wounded. The battlefields were dangerous, but the camps were deadlier. Soldiers lived in cramped quarters. Sanitation was abysmal. Disease spread like wildfire. Dysentery, typhoid, measles, smallpox. These were the true enemies. They ravaged the ranks. They weakened armies. Water sources were often contaminated. Food was scarce and poorly prepared. The air was thick with the stench of sickness and death. In 1861, amidst the chaos and bloodshed of the Civil War, a beacon of hope emerged. The nation was torn apart, families divided, and the future seemed uncertain. Yet, in the midst of this turmoil, we are told that a group of dedicated individuals rose to the occasion. This group was the United States Sanitary Commission, an organization formed with a singular purpose: to alleviate the suffering of soldiers and improve their chances of survival. At least that is the official narrative, their mission: to improve hygiene, reduce the spread of disease, and ultimately save lives. They understood that the battlefield was not just a place of combat, but also a breeding ground for illness. The Commission issued comprehensive guidelines for sanitation, ensuring that camps were kept as clean as possible. They distributed essential medical supplies, from bandages to medicines to the front lines where they were desperately needed. They advocated tirelessly for better camp conditions, recognizing that a healthy environment was crucial for the well-being of the soldiers. Their efforts led to significant improvements in the living conditions within the camps. However, their journey was fraught with challenges. The sheer scale of the war, the resistance from military officials, and the limited resources often hampered their efforts. Despite these obstacles, they persevered. Their dedication and hard work paid off. They managed to save countless lives, providing medical care and support to those who would have otherwise perished. Their impact was profound and far-reaching. In the midst of a grim and brutal reality, the United States Sanitary Commission brought a glimmer of hope. Their legacy is a testament to the power of compassion and the difference that determined individuals can make, even in the darkest of times. The Civil War saw the rise of rifled muskets. These new weapons revolutionized the battlefield with their enhanced capabilities. These weapons were more accurate than the smoothbore muskets used in previous conflicts. Soldiers could now hit targets at greater distances with improved precision. They had a longer range, allowing soldiers to engage the enemy from farther away. This increased range meant that battles could be fought over larger areas, changing the dynamics of warfare. However, the increased accuracy and range also meant that the injuries inflicted were far more severe. Despite these advancements in weaponry, battle tactics remained outdated. Commanders continued to employ traditional strategies that had been used for centuries. Soldiers marched in close formations, a tactic that made sense when weapons were less accurate. But with the advent of rifled muskets, these formations became death traps. They made easy targets for the enemy, leading to staggering casualties. The sheer number of wounded soldiers overwhelmed the medical services. Field hospitals were inundated with a constant stream of wounded soldiers. The medical staff, often undertrained and under-resourced, struggled to cope with the influx. Amputation became the go-to solution for many injuries. It was quick and, in many cases, the only way to save a soldier's life. The brutal nature of the procedure was a stark reminder of the horrors of war. Surgeons had to make quick decisions, often opting for amputation to prevent infections and other complications. It was a harsh reality, but in the chaos of war, it was often the only option available to save lives. The letters and documents from that era paint a vivid picture of the brutal reality faced by soldiers and medical staff alike. The combination of new weapons and old tactics resulted in unprecedented levels of carnage. As the war progressed, some commanders began to adapt their tactics, recognizing the need for change. Skirmish lines and trench warfare started to emerge, laying the groundwork for future conflicts. The lessons learned during the Civil War had a lasting impact on military strategy. The importance of adapting tactics to match technological advancements became a crucial takeaway for future generations of military leaders. Today, we remember the sacrifices made by those who fought in the Civil War. Their experiences serve as a powerful reminder of the need to continually evolve and adapt in the face of new challenges. As we reflect on the history of the Civil War, we gain a deeper appreciation for the resilience and adaptability of those who lived through it. Their legacy endures, reminding us of the importance of learning from the past to build a better future. Imagine the scene: a makeshift hospital tent. The air thick with the smell of blood and sweat, surgeons working tirelessly. They amputated limbs with bone saws. They used whatever tools they had. They worked without the benefit of modern pain relief. The screams of the wounded echoed through the camps. The surgeons worked on, hardened by the horrors they witnessed. Chloroform offered some respite from the pain. It was a crude anesthetic. It was dangerous, but it was better than nothing. Infection remained a constant threat. Surgeons didn't understand how to prevent it. Many amputees died from sepsis. Despite the grim conditions, we are told that many amputees survived. They returned home, forever marked by the war. Samuel Cooper's The Practice of Surgery was a standard text. It offered insights into Civil War medical practices. It highlighted the limitations of the time. Cooper's book is a window into a bygone era. It reminds us of the horrors of war. It underscores the importance of medical advancements. The Civil War was a time of great change. It was a time of great tragedy. It was a time that reshaped a nation. To learn more about the untold and hidden stories of the past, please subscribe to Uncovered Enigmas. We take a fresh look into the mysteries of history. From the battlefields to the camps, disease cast a long shadow and was a grim reality of the Civil War. And you know, it had to suck. Thanks for watching and stay civil, my friends. Peace.